Hello, everybody. It is so good to see all of your digital, non-existent faces in the chat. I am so freaking excited for this continuation of the Godkiller one-shot miniseries. Hello, welcome one and all to this very special one-shot of Godkiller called Escape from Hell. This is an immensely special game that I am so excited to share with all of you and the world, so thank you all so much for tuning in and being here. Godkiller would not be possible without the support of all of you beautiful, queer, trans heretics. And if you don't already know, Godkiller is an original holy punk PBTA game created by yours truly over here, built to tell the story of one player, the Godkiller, who's to my right over here, and one game master, the God of Gods, who is currently there he is, B-Dave! And together, fuck yeah, the God and Godkiller will weave a mythic, violent, transformative tale about a single mortal rising up against the challenges of the divine. And if you want to play your own God-killing quest, pre-orders for the Ashcan edition of Godkiller are indeed open right now, so you can nab your own copy in advance of its release in June, while they're still on sale for a nice discount because of pre-orders, and be ready for that release. So use !Godkiller in chat to get your very own Act of Heresy. And for those of you who don't know, I am Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me across the internet at by Connie Chang. That's BYCONNIECHANG. I am the game master and creative producer of the channel that you're watching the stream on right now, Transplanar RPG, which is an all-transgender, POC-led, dark fantasy TTRPG show set in an original, non-colonial, anti-Orientalist multiverse. But enough about me. Let's toss things over to the real stars of tonight's show, starting with B-Dave.
It is I, B-Dave Walters, and this carefully crafted program that Connie has put on has like a script and a strategy and a format. I'm already off the rails. Hi, I do this. You can find me wherever fine streaming content is located, all over the interwebs. And Connie, is it your intent that I do the announcements now, or simply toss it over to Gina to say hello?
You know what? Let's toss it over to Gina to say hello first, and then we can dive right into the script.
Hi, my name is Gina Darling, streamer, TV host extraordinaire, and I am also very jealous that I did not like pop into the screen like B-Dave did. That was A+. Like I should have done that. Yeah, I should have surprised these people.
But you're already doing this thing. See me like I gotta cheat. I need like practicals and effects and stuff. You just have to show up and be you, and you've already astonishing enough.
You guys can find me anywhere at MissGinaDarling.com, MISSGINA Darling.com. If you can't remember my name, you can remember Gina. Nobody forgets Gina. And shout out to all the people in the chat right now who are hanging out with us, and shout out to my viewers who are in here with us now. I see you, Jared. I see you, Frank. Thanks for hanging out in here with us.
No, now that was my cue. Seamless. For those of you that are familiar with me and what I do, I got this like crazy NASA setup of multiple screens and things are all over the place. And I'm making meaningful eye contact with you here, but they're over there. So I'm like, what? Like Connie's giving me the signal and I'm like, oh yeah, do the thing. So some quick announcements before we get started. Every Saturday from now through the end of May, Transplanar will be hosting Godkiller one-shots right here on Twitch, featuring 7 pairs of gods and godlings guests. Every single participant is a true titan of TTRPG, so make sure you come back next week, same time, same place, to see Persephoros and Jess Parsons take on their own version of the Cradle and fight for a newborn Godkiller's freedom against their tyrannical god husband.
Persephoros is so hot. Oh my god.
Persephoros is great. Sephi's a homie.
Also, we also have some incredible sponsors for this Godkiller one-shot series. As you can see from our overlay, we're using Roll to bring you this stream series, and it has never been easier to customize your games online with this awesome VTT. Make sure you use !sponsor in the chat to start running your games on Roll and get info on our other sponsors, Start Playing and Magpie Games. And then I'm going to throw it over to B-Dave because he has more for you.
Finally. Godkiller is a dark fantasy series that contains content that may be triggering to some viewers. Content warnings for this episode include fantasy violence, gore, body horror, death, killing, and fire. Couple things. It is my intent that this be pretty dark and intense. A lot of times you don't know until you get in there, but it is my intent to twist the knife a little bit this time. And one thing that I want to point out is this is drawing very heavily on Greek mythology. And unfortunately, non-consensual relationships feature very heavily into Greek mythology, losing a lot of trickery and misdirection that I'm going to veil to the best of my ability. But that is a content warning that I have to include in here. Also, this game was designed by the wonderful Connie. We have learned it fresh. We were taught by the master themselves. I do not have the encyclopedic knowledge of this game that I have of some, so any mistakes are completely and totally mine. Use !CW in chat at any time to get a full list of these content warnings. And with that, it is time to get started.
I'm going to now fade
Sure.
from the ether and let these two giants take the stage. Let's begin.
Oh, so cool. How come I don't look that cool?
Yeah, you're always that cool. Ate, the Radiant. Standing here on the banks of the river Tacitus, the river of Wales, a river that serves as a bit of a boundary between the mortal world and the eternal world of Hades, and Olympus that lay somewhere far beyond. You were in search of another target. Moans and wails drift up from the water ambiently as souls make their way down to their final resting place somewhere in Tartarus deep below. But one has escaped. You hear the splashing, crunching of footsteps through the mud and reeds on the border of the river. You know you've got to track them down. This is what you do.
Well, we can't have that happening. I'll never hear the end of it. All right, here we go. Ate gets up and starts sniffing around, trying to find any trace as to where the spirit has gone. We all know the rules here. Once you die, you must go. You must go where you belong. There is no escape.
Before we move on too much into this, what does Ate the Radiant look like?
Ate the Radiant stands at 6 feet tall with long, bright red hair, one black eye and one red eye. Her skin is porcelain white, so much so that you see her blue veins creeping underneath. The tips of her fingers are all black, as if dipped in ash, and fades up to her pale skin. She wears a black cloak, similar to what I am wearing now. She has sharp teeth, mostly her canines, and she's adorned in silver jewelry and carries actually, let's make this sexy. What does she carry? This is all on top of the head because Gina prepares.
There's no wrong answer.
She has a pair of, what would you call them? I guess gauntlets.
Mm-hmm.
The gloves that she slips on, shining silver, very sharp at the ends, and that's her weapon of choice that she uses to hunt down spirits. As she walks, you can tell that she's hunting because she starts tapping her fingers together, and you can hear the metal scraping and clicking as she hunts.
It isn't difficult to find him, Ate. Over here on this side of the river, away from your village of Sudia, you are spared the bright, blinding gaze of the accursed day star, the sun that hangs in the sky. Over here, it is always gloomy. It is always dusk on your way to the underworld. And you hear a mumbling voice from somewhere up ahead saying, there just must be some mistake here. Don't know how I've made my way out here. So, excuse me, who's in charge here? I would like to speak to someone who's in charge. This is quite improper. Yes, that's the word, quite improper. I went to bed in my own bed, and I awoke in this swampy marsh, and I will be delivered home. Henceforth, who's in charge here?
That sounds familiar. Ate walks up to him and taps him on the shoulder.
You see a man turns around, pale and jowly. His skin is the varnished gray that you've become very accustomed to seeing in the faces of the dead. He's got thick, wet jowls that wiggle as he complains, but you can see over his face a spider web of veins up to an eye that is bulging slightly. This man has died from a stroke, but doesn't seem to realize it. He reaches at his bedclothes and he's going, my coin pouch seems to have been misplaced here. You girl, can you escort me out of this place? I'll see that you're rewarded handsomely or punished greatly. Should you not heed to my wills, I am a merchant of some renown in these parts. And Gregory, obviously you must know that. Yes, this is crab. I've got mud on my feet here. This is quite improper.
Ate starts scraping at her metal fingertips. I don't think you're the person that should be threatening me right now. And you say you're a merchant of some sort. I guess you can say I'm a merchant too. A merchant of souls, if you must. Listen, let's get this over with. I don't have time. You died. I'm going to take you to where you belong, into the underworld. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. You're going to cry. No, yeah. No, you can't see your family. No, you cannot have it. This is not a mistake. Come on, let's make this easy.
I did have a spot of a headache on my way to bed. I just thought I just had some bit of beef that didn't agree with me when I was bedding down last night. But
if you don't hurry up, we're going to have beef. Come on now. And she grabs him by the shoulder and pushes him in front of her and starts guiding him down the river.
Again, most improper. What is your name, young lady? I shall see that you are punished harshly for this abuse. What is your name?
She grabs his shoulder and pulls him closer, his head right next to hers, and she whispers, "My name is Ate, the Divine. Now, if you don't keep walking, I'm going to show you why no one here defies me. Now go."
Fine. I'm sure when we find out who your superiors are, we'll get this quite sorted out. And you see he walks plodding down the riverbank here. And I'll tell you, as you turn and you look at the river, on occasion, you see faces bubble up underneath near the surface and wail and then fall back under. Some of them look like they're struggling, drowning. Some of them look completely serene, just accepting, floating on the way down towards their fate. And as you make your way just slightly down the river, you recognize 4 familiar shapes start to emerge out of the mist. They approach you like they're walking, but you can see down off into the distance, and yet they just sort of appear walking. They have jet black skin and diamond eyes. They have swords, whips, various implements. You recognize the Furies instantly. Another one?
Hi, Megara. You look good. Tisiphone. Electo.
You know, this is beneath you, Ate. You should be with us, inflicting some real retribution.
Sure, I guess, if I had to deal with 3 idiots all the time. Listen, I would love that, but you know how things go. I can't go down there. I'm stuck here. And it's not very nice of you guys to keep constantly teasing me with this, knowing that I have to stay here.
Listen. I don't know what the thing is with you and the boss. I don't know if you're like a pet or something. I don't know if the rumors are true. Here's what we know. You're pretty useful in a scrap. And come on, we're family, probably, I guess.
I guess you can say, yeah, I can't hold myself in a fight.
Excuse me, silence, maidens. Obviously, again, my name's Gregory. I would like to speak to who's in charge here.
Oh, God.
You see the Furies look at each other and they look at you and they're like, you want to tell him who's in charge or us?
Ate grabs onto his shoulder a little bit tighter. She looks at him and says, Oh, sure, we can take you to who's in charge. As a matter of fact, these three lovely ladies here will take you. Megara, well, why don't you show him the ropes around here? Go on, sir. Gregory, was it? Have fun.
Yeah,
And she
quite.
shoves him into Megara's hands.
And you see she just kind of grabs him and just like picks him up and like smooths his bedclothes a little. And she says, ooh, this isn't good. No, this isn't good. And they all look at each other and they're like, oh no. And he goes, what? And she goes, oh, he doesn't have the coins. He doesn't have the coins to pay the boatman.
Ooh.
That's a problem.
Mm.
I assure you, my wealth is more than sufficient to charter any vessel on these waters or any other. And she says, oh, but the problem is you needed somebody who loved you
Oof.
and will
Brutal.
miss you to lay those coins on your eyes. Otherwise, we got to do this the hard way. And you see she smiles for a moment and her teeth are made out of diamond also. And he turns and looks back at you and he says, oh, changing plans, ma'am. I prefer your method of doing things. And I'll pay you whatever you want to escort me the rest of the way here. But don't leave me with these women.
I told you so. Meg, I'll take her. Or I'll take him. Come on. Gregory, come here.
You see, they just fall in behind and they're like, we just want to see his face. That's it's fine. Okay. As you walk a little further, the sound of wails and moans starts to get louder and louder as you approach the edge of Hades, the edge of which even you don't pass lightly, Ate. And he starts to lean back slightly, and one of the Furies just sort of pokes him in the back with the sharpened end of her cat of nine tails whip. And he's like, and comes forward, and out of the mist, you do see a boat appear. Can you see him? Charon, the boatman. He is pale, gaunt, holding the stick as he sails out of the gloom. And he just says to you, Ate,
Charon?
another stray.
Oh, you know how it is. They never want to go. They don't know. Every excuse under the sun. But hey, I got him, right?
The Furies look and they're like, yeah, it's blah, 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 right? Always. They're like, Charon, let us have him. Let us have him. Let us have him. Please let us have him. And Charon leans forward and says, does he have the coins to pay for passage?
Well, it seems like he doesn't, although he brags about his coins all the time.
Yeah, my wealth is considerable. I seem to have left without my coin. But madam, if you would just
The name
loan
is
me.
Ate.
Ate, yes, I shan't forget. If you would but loan me passage, perhaps I could repay you the debt somewhere down the ways with significant interest.
With interest, they can't even they don't even have money after. Listen, if it, Charon, if it gets him off my hands, I'll just and just send me back a few coins afterwards. Is that okay?
Charon just tilts his head and looks at you, and he's like, always so merciful. And when he holds his hand out, you see his hand is just a full skeleton's hand for you to give him the coins.
Ate reaches into her pocket deep down there somewhere, just rattles around. Okay, here. 2, right? Okay, here. And hands the coins to Charon.
You see, right when you hand them to him, the Furies just go, ah! That's
Sorry.
why you don't get to hang out with us. Come on, you're so sweet and gentle. Why? He doesn't deserve your mercy.
Listen, forgive me if I don't want to hang around a bunch of screaming banshees all the time, gossiping and laughing at other people. I've got things to do, and to be honest, I like it quiet. All right?
You see Megara just sort of leans forward and looks at you, and she just goes, oh, Ate, jealousy is unbecoming. Go on. scoot on home. You have a solstice festival or some stupid mortal thing, and you see the Furies. One of them grabs him by the neck and just hoists him in the boat, and they start getting in the boat too.
Meg, one more thing. And she gets close to Meg. Being as I gave up a couple of coins, I feel like, my pockets are a little bit empty. So the next time you come near me and say anything like that again, I'll pluck those diamonds right out of your eyes. Understood?
She
Bye.
just leans real close and she just says, "Promise?"
Ugh, gross. Just go.
Gets in the boat. She's like, "Still got hope for you. You're going to make it someday." And Sharon just like nods to you slightly, and you see the boat sails what looks like just a few feet, and you hear Gregory being like, "Wait, what's this? No, don't take me there!" And the boat just disappears into the mist.
Oh. Sometimes I wish I can go, but I don't know. A nice boat ride sounds nice. Whatever. I'm tired.
Is presumably you turn to and want to make your way back.
Yes. Seeing as it doesn't sound like there's any spirits escaping. Ate figures, you know what? Let's call it night. I'm tired. The sun's about to come up anyways. It's almost dawn, and she starts heading back to town.
Is you make your way along the river, Ate, you encounter a familiar sensation where it's like it is not about physical distance. Sometimes you can walk for 5 minutes and be home. Sometimes you can walk for 5 hours and not be home. The river brings you back when it decides it's time for you to come back. And as you're walking, you hear off in the distance, "Ate! Ate! Ate, you're gonna be late! Ate!"
God, what? She starts walking towards the yelling, I suppose. She starts walking towards the yelling. "Oh, I'll be right there. I'll be there."
Oh, wait, where are you? It's so spooky out here. I hate this side of the river.
Chris, I'm right here. And she holds her hands up to the moonlight so he can see the sparkling.
You see your friend Chris Aor look at you and wave cheerfully. What does Chris look like?
Chris is a very joyful looking boy. He looks young. He's about 5'6", blonde short hair, rosy cheeks, freckles. Just think Tom Holland's personality in Spider-Man.
That is 5'6.5". Thank you.
5'6.5".
Right. Look. Okay, wait, hang on. All right, so I've been working on some new recipes. I really think this one's gonna be a hit. Okay. And you see, he reaches in his bag and he pulls out a jet black loaf of bread, and he's like, "It's inspired by you. I call it Ate bread." Because you eat and then it's like 8 and then it's like 8, but the Ate, so it's like you ate the bread. You ate the
how much
Ate bread.
I hate that. You know how much I hate that joke. Okay. Now, is it supposed to be this color?
It's like your fingertips. It looks like you, and it's all like, right? And then I expose it to extreme heat for a long time, and then it comes out black, like you are inside. But it works. But I like it.
Okay, Ate really doesn't want to hurt his feelings, so she looks at him and goes, "So it's okay, all right, she's fine." And with a slight smirk to him, she nods at him and goes, "Here we go," and takes a bite, and it just nearly disintegrates to a black dust.
It's not good, Ate. It does begin to crumble, but inside, about the size of a golf ball, there is like a little chunk of almost perfectly made bread. It is like, it just falls apart, and there's like one little gleaming bit inside.
Oh, Chris, and she takes that little soft spot and shoves it in her mouth to get rid of the burnt taste. Oh yeah, it's perfectly medium. Well, Chris, you are absolutely improving. Good job.
But listen, Ate, come close. Come close. You want to get close? That bread reminds me of you. There's like a sweet little center in the middle,
I'm not sweet.
underneath other stuff.
You know what I said about calling me that.
Right. Well, hey, let me change the subject before you hurt me. Hi.
Mhm.
Also, can we be not hear the river screams
Sure.
when you're here? Have
Oh,
you
you
noticed that
learned
the river
to.
screams?
You kind of tune it out after a while, but good point. Okay, fine. Let's go back to my
Why
playlist.
would you want to not hear the scream? You know what? Never mind. It's the solstice. We gotta make our offerings today.
Yes.
Are you ready?
It's never easy, but sure. Yes, of course.
Because you got to give up something you love, and I'm like, well,
Mhm.
you couldn't
I
give.
wouldn't. No,
Oh
Chris, no.
no,
And she
okay,
just
yeah,
grabs his face and just shoves it away a little bit. No, Chris, never
okay, right,
you.
yeah. I wouldn't give you up either. Okay, all right, let's head back. Clotho's looking for you. You know how she is.
What now?
She's old, but I don't know. She sees things.
She's so. Oh gosh, she never stops talking. You know. All right.
I mean, everybody kind of tunes her out, but she was right about the
God.
accurate predictions of death for the last 7 mayors, and
I would
so
rather hear the river screaming. Okay, fine. Where is she? Don't tell me she's at my. No.
well, let's just
No.
go.
Chris.
It's I told her that
Chris. Did you tell her where I lived?
she literally can see the future, Ate. I think she
fine.
already knew.
Okay, fine. Let's go.
Is you make your way back to the village of Sudia. It is right on the banks of the river Cocytus. And like Chris said, further up, it is more like a bayou closer to where they live. The water is still greenish, brown, and slightly brackish, but it is not overtly filled with the souls of the anguished dead, usually. And as you make your way, the village is small, maybe 150 people. You know it well. You know every single person in here, up to and including a list of slights that they've performed against you in your lifetime. And as you emerge from that side of the river and cross over the very simple plank wood bridge that's been constructed, you see some of the fishermen on the dock look at you, and then they like very quickly avert their eyes and are like, "Did good hunting today, Ate?"
Not much to do, but it worked out. How's it going over there with the I guess all the fish? Doesn't look like much today.
Not terribly, but that's all right. We have prepared our offering. You know, must keep our Lord appeased.
Unfortunately, so. Good luck, boys.
You see, when you say "unfortunately so," Chris just elbows you. It's you can't say that.
Oh,
You can't say that.
They're not listening all the time.
No, but they're listening all the time. They're gods.
Honestly, don't you think it's a little bit nosy?
Think about it this way. But think about it like this. If they're not listening all the time, how would they hear our prayers?
Prayers. Right, that's right. You people pray. Oh, yes, Chris, they're listening all the time and they're listening to your prayers. Yes.
You people.
Believers, yes. Yeah, you know what I meant.
Just reconsider offering you up as maybe the thing I love. You see, he does walk down the street, and you see again a familiar scene. Children kind of are running towards you. Their parents very quickly pull them away from you. People just sort of like look at you out of the corner of your eye. A couple hazard a wave as you make your way around until you reach your house. What does Ate's house look like?
Ate's house is a small, I guess you can say would you call it that's not a hut, but imagine a little cottage. She lives in a very humble little cottage, a worn wooden door, like hay roof, and you see like a light glowing light inside, a candle that she left on hours ago, which maybe I shouldn't do that, but she can't stand coming home to a dark house. There's dead grass surrounding the house. She's terrible at taking care of it. It's not the nicest looking cottage, but it's home. And she looks over to Chris and says, without me, these people would be this village would be crawling with spirits. You would think they'd be a little bit nicer.
As you make your way over, you do see her, Clotho, the old seer. She is worn and haggard. She's impossibly old, with long, stringy gray hair and a gnarled stick that she leans on heavily. And when you turn and look, she just says, another one that thought he could buy his way out of eternity.
The usual, Cloth. Nothing new.
I think you might find that sometimes nothing new is a blessing. Have you prepared your offering?
Are you sweating?
Always.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, I had to think about it, but I guess I have my offering. Something that you love. That's blah, 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 blah.
I apologize. You were about to say something. I get tripped up by already knowing the outcomes of things, and I forget that sometimes you must speak freely. You are going to say something about Gregory.
Gregory. Oh, the spirit from earlier. Oh, yeah, no, I sent him off. He's taken care of.
Chris looks at you and says, the spirit was named Gregory?
Yeah. He was kind of annoying, just bragging about his coins all the time. Why? What? Am I missing something here?
It just seems strange to me that you're just like, I mean, I had to trace down a restless spirit named Gregory.
I mean, yeah, given maybe his parents didn't love him that much and gave him that name, they usually run off because they don't want to die or they don't know that they're dead.
It's difficult to embrace one's fate. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, don't you guys ever get curious to know what's down the river sometimes?
Oh, I'm quite clear on what's down the river. Chris says, I don't need to learn anytime soon, actually. In fact, if it were up to me, I'd live much further up river, like that way. Like why, does anybody question why we subsist on fish that we pull out of a river that goes to Hades? Anybody ever ask that? You ever look in the eyes of those fish? Those fish have seen things, Ate.
Yeah, but, flavorful. That's what makes them fun. When you go through a lot of things, it makes you like a fun little fish that you can eat, right? Don't you think?
I shall add that to my repertoire. Suffering is the seasoning of life.
Yep, there it is. Listen, Cloth, was there something you wanted to talk about or something? Like, why are you here? I don't like. Did I owe you some? Did you want to borrow sugar or what's happening?
She comes very close to you, and she very much smells like. Initially, she smells like moss in mildew, but it almost gives way to almost a pleasing earthy scent, like a really fine compost. As she gets closer to you. And she says, today is the day, Ate.
The day? You mean, no. No, they would never. Would they?
Perpetually. One question. When you met the Furies again, when you met the Furies the first time, what did you think when you looked upon them?
What do you mean? That they're... Oh, God. that they're, I mean, like, they're annoying and they're dumb and they're okay. And then maybe like I wish I could be one of, no, I can.
There it is that you wish.
Ugh,
You could have what they have, that you
chemical
could
warfare.
be
I mean,
like
sometimes.
they are.
I guess.
Ate, part of the genius of this particular God Killer system is you have a lot of moves you could do. Sometimes you have to do them at a particular moment. Sometimes you could just do them whenever you choose. And you have a couple of options that might be relevant here in your interactions with Clotho. You could try and connect with someone. You could try and feel someone or something out, or you could just let it play how it plays.
I would like to use one of my mortal moves. And I think I want to go. I'm gonna try to connect with her.
So the way this works, and again, everyone, we are new to this game, so any mistakes, completely on me. Anything you see contradictory in subsequent episodes, they're doing it right. We messed it up. But the way it works with these mortal moves is when you're trying to connect with someone, there are two questions. You get to answer a question, and then I will reveal something to you, and then I will answer the other question. So you can tell me either what common ground do you share with Clotho, or what still divides you and her.
I would like to share a common ground with Clotho. So I just told her something very intimate about me, is that I am jealous. I want to be one of the Furies. I want to go to the underworld. And the common ground that I share, do I say it to her or do I give it to you?
You can just explain it to me for this. There are some things that you have to say out loud in character. But for this is just something you can give contextually.
Okay. The common ground that she and I share, obviously, we are kind of the outcasts in our town. She's like the creepy person that nobody wants to come near because she's always saying crazy things. And Ate literally hunts down spirits and is really strange herself. That's why people kind of pull their kids away. So it's very clear that she and I are the outcasts here and people are afraid of us.
Something that you get of her is you are here looking into her eyes. She's this close to you, which you understand immediately that people usually don't get this close to her because, quite frankly, they don't get this close to you. She feels very powerless to stop the things that she sees happening. She sees terrible things all the time and she can't do anything about it. And the thing that divides you is she realizes that you're about to ruin everything.
Oh, okay. So Ate knows this, right? What do you
You see,
ruin everything?
Excuse me, that loaf was perfect how I brought it. I don't ruin everything.
Chris, she's not talking. Your cooking's fine. She's not. Can you give us a little bit of time, Chris? I just need to talk to her really quick.
I'm gonna go prepare my offering, and then maybe I'll share some of it with you. I don't, Clotho, thank you. Please don't look upon me. You're terrifying. Great. And you do see he turns and walks away, and she watches him walk away, and she looks at you and she says, "You care for that lad, yes?"
Who? No, Chris? No, he's just a stupid kid that hangs out with them. Okay, fine. Well, no, he's the only one. You know, you really, how do you not blink for so long? Yes, he's like the only one that's nice to me and he brings me food and he doesn't treat me like I'm a weirdo. So yeah, I mean, I guess he's all right and he's kind, at least a little bit soften the mind, but
kindness is often in short supply in this world of ours. And she looks up, and as the sun is starting to rise a little higher in the sky, your home in particular has big overhangs that you've built so that you can sort of stand in the shadows. And you see she sort of instinctively steps into it. But she points up that even in the sky, with the sun rising, you can make out these shattered remains of what was once a golden river. It is worn and faded, and the sparkle diminishes day by day, century upon centuries. And she looks up and says, "The gods once dwelt on high, and they were kind and loving and just."
Kind and loving and just.
But then, just like those souls scrambled to evade their fate, they ran, hid, scraped, and became something much worse.
Oh no.
Yes.
No, come on. You're not saying.
I'm not saying anything. That's the thing. Old Clotho speaks in riddles.
Clotho.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you know. What do you mean I'm going to ruin everything?
Oh, child, I could speak on end for decades and never tell you all that I know. And she reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder. And she says, just do what you think needs to be done in the moment.
Ate knows exactly what she wants to do, but she's always held back against it. She leans in and she tells Clothe, "What I told you earlier, you will repeat to no one. Do you understand?"
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just an old woman. I didn't hear anything.
Good. I'll see you at the solstice.
A bell starts ringing in the middle of town, and she says, "He's early." And you see people come running out of their homes, and they start lining up on the front of their steps with their offerings. You see baskets of food. You see very finely whittled instruments, tools, weapons, musical instruments. You see people holding young animals with a knife in their hand, and more than a few people holding newborn babies. You see Chris run to the door of his little hovel as well, and he's pulling like a little wagon with something on it. And at the end of the street, you see him. A howl of wolves echoes through the woods and then washes over the entire town like a wave of thunder as everybody moves to avert his eyes. And out of the forest, a form steps. He's 8 feet tall, wearing what looks like armor made out of wood. His face is a contradiction because as you look at him straight on, he is angelic. He's miraculously beautiful, despite the fact that he has long, sharp canines and a mane of hair that goes back over his shoulder like a wolf. And when he walks, he crouches slightly and sniffs the air. This is Zagreus, the god of these lands. Oh, friends, another solstice approaches. The bounty of the gods in their benevolence has smiled upon you, and I have come to collect. When you see this, what does Ate do?
Ate just stares at him with disdain. These gods are all the same. They just take and take and take, and they go back to their little home and enjoy their lives. She walks over to where everyone's offering their. Are they standing in front of him?
In front of their homes, basically.
Oh, in front of their
homes. They're kind of lining the street, and he's at the end of it to kind of come down the street.
Ugh. She looks at her neighbors, the people closest to her, and she says, "Your baby, really?"
I mean, he was a gift from the gods. I have to freely offer him, and I hope in Zagreus' mercy that he allows me to keep him, that he will smile upon my faithfulness.
They know no mercy, and you know this. They have never turned down any offering. This is your only child.
And I have nothing else to give Ate. You're going to get his attention. You're going to anchor him. And you see Chris is looking at you, Ate, and going,
huh. And she looks over at the seer and says, "What was that you said earlier? Just do what I want to do."
She looks at you and she says, "You will know when the time is right to act. It is not yet here, but soon."
But the babies. But
when you say that, Zagreus sniffs the air and then cocks his head and says, "Oh, I know that scent of swamp rot. Ate. Oh, what is it? Is it little sister?" As if.
Zagreus?
Again, you diminish this holy day with your presence. And he starts walking down the street very casually towards you.
Ugh. Nice to see you, Zagreus, as stupid and greedy and needy as ever. You know, I always heard about how needy you were, how you wanted the most offerings of all the gods. Don't you think all of that's kind of going towards your waistline?
He looks down with the woman holding the baby.
Don't.
And he just puts his hand on her head and says, "Don't what?"
Zagreus, you don't. There's plenty of other offerings. Don't take the babies. They're supposed to be a gift. They think it's a gift from you.
Oh, it is a gift from me. Every day I allow them to live. And you see his hand starts to clench just slightly on her ponytail. Is a gift from me. Where's your offering, Ate?
She looks over at the seer and gives her the eyebrow and goes, Are you now not? Are you sure? Because
Clotho is just looking down and doesn't say anything. And you see Zagreus looks at her and looks at you and looks down at this woman and her baby and lets go of the ponytail and says, "I've seen her faith, and it is rewarded." And in a blur, he's across the street and he has Chris by the hand, holding him up. And says, "This one means something to you. I smell you on him."
No.
A craftsman, yes. And you see he's dangling there and he's like, yeah, he's just in the wagon here. "I have an offering for you, my lord. Yes, I don't know if I'm supposed to look upon you or not look upon you." And Zagreus looks at you and he's like, "Where is your offering, Ate?"
Okay, something that I love, something that I, and she looks at Chris, and she's kind of mouths the words, "I'm sorry," and I'll give you an offering. One of my. You can take one of my senses.
Is it your intent in this moment to do as you are told?
Fine.
I'm asking.
Yes.
I'm not telling. Simply because
actually,
that is one of the moves. Is do as you're told.
I would like to use one of my mortal moves. I will do as I told, and answer.
There are two questions. You can tell me how are you rewarded for this, or what vulnerability do you reveal?
Ate gets down on one knee, bows her head, and says to Zagreus, "I have an offering for you, and I'm hoping that I am rewarded by him letting Chris go." She grits her teeth and says, "Zagreus, I do have an offering for you. I'll give you one of my senses, my sense of taste."
As you make this offer of contrition, and you see everybody has their heads bowed and they're sort of looking in your direction, but also trying to look at Zagreus, but keep their heads averted, a couple things happen. You get a glimpse of his true intentions, and his true intention is for you to suffer, Ate, to know your place. And the vulnerability you reveal is these humans are your weakness. And Zagreus bites down on Chris's hand and bites onto two of his fingers and starts gnashing at them. And Chris starts screaming as blood is trickling down Zagreus's jaws as he is harshly pulling at you, and you hear them crunching and tearing. What would you like to do?
Zagreus, I told you. Oh man, Zagreus, let him go, and
or what? And continues,
and she
crunching.
She jumps onto Zagreus and shoves her fist into Zagreus's mouth. Let him go.
Now, another aspect of the genius of this system of Godkiller is there are some specific moments that can make your divinity spring to life, that can make your own divine power become available for you. You, in particular,
my divine power.
When you risk your life to save a mortal, to put yourself in danger for the sake of a mortal, that activates your divine power in particular. Now, as you come over towards him, a couple of things happen before, and then you were going to tell me how this plays out.
Okay.
Specifically, when you hurl yourself into obvious danger to help a mortal, your divinity awakens. So as you charge towards Zagreus, first tell me, what does it look like as your divinity awakens, as he is cruelly torturing, maiming your friend, as Chris is screaming and crying and pounding at Zagreus' chest, and you see nothing but sadistic joy in his face as he's looking right at you while he's doing this. What does it look like when your divinity manifests?
As Ate lunges towards Zagreus, her divinity manifests in a way where her hair turns completely all white. Her eyes turn her eyes look like there is white flames, white and blue flames shooting out of it. And there's almost a black flame that surrounds her. And it sounds like there is just a vicious snarl that comes out of her mouth.
As you are lunging towards him, your divinity awakened, you see the shockwave out in front of you knocks over the wagon that Chris had there. And in it, he had a very ornate antique mirror. You've been in his home. You realize this is an heirloom. This is something that he truly loves because glass is hard to come by. And as it falls to the ground, you see Zagreus' reflection in the mirror, but he looks different. He still looks like this looming tyrant in front of you. But on the outside of his chest, you see a beating heart. You see it in the reflection of the mirror. You don't see it on him, but it is very, very clearly a point of vulnerability. Now, with your Divinity Unleashed, you have a few options here. There are moves that you can do, your divine moves, which usually carry a certain amount of risk. But if you choose to use your divine power, you tell me how that works out. You can inflict violence, you can wield a power, you can challenge someone dangerous. As long as you are using your divinity, it will work. And then after that, your divinity will be deactivated until you activate it again.
Okay, so I would I'm gonna inflict violence. Ate would like to inflict violence as per usual. She grabs the mirror. Oh, and I'm using my divinity, so I don't have to roll at all. This is
You don't have to roll, it just happens.
All right. She Ate reaches down and grabs the mirror that he loves so much. And she's standing in front. She jumps down. She's standing in front of Zagreus now, grabs the mirror in front of her and gives her hair a little flick and checks her face, turns the mirror over so she can see Zagreus behind her, and reaches and grabs into his heart with her gauntlets and squeezes the claws into his heart. You don't touch Chris, and twists.
As you reach out and grab him, the heart springs into existence where everyone can see it. And Zagreus looks down at it, shocked, like, as he coughs, chunks of Chris's fingers come out of his mouth as he is standing there over him as you're holding on to this. Now, normally, you have the option to kill a god or spare a god, but I feel like you don't intend to show Zagreus any mercy in this moment. This works out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, absolutely not. Ate reaches into
this works a little differently now. Now that you intend to kill him, you do have to roll. You have to roll 2d6. The only thing that you ever roll is 2d6, and pending how this works out, it is going to affect what happens next.
Oh God, here we go. The first roll tonight. Here we go.
Is that a 9 I'm seeing?
I got a 9.
Excellent. That means you succeed, but killing a god is no small thing. And in his death, Zagreus takes something from you. He takes something vital from you. You tell me what Zagreus takes from you forever.
Oh, come on.
You don't want me to do it.
You can't have Chris. I love him. Can I still give him my sense of taste?
I don't think that that's quite vital enough.
Come on, like, you're so needy. Yeah.
To be clear, you are about to kill him. You are going to win. It is just going to cost you.
Is this really winning? Can I be okay?
Welcome to Godkiller. Hashtag is this really winning?
Oh man.
For what it's worth, this could have gone much worse.
Can I give him the only home I've ever had? Take my hut, my little cottage. Or I can never return. I can never return to the town and see my sweet boy Chris ever again. I have to be exiled, maybe?
Chat. Y'all already know what I'm gonna do. So I leave it to you, good people. Is that enough? If it's enough that she be banished and can never return, give me a 1 in chat. If it needs to cost her more than that, give me a 2.
Ugh, God, I'm like so poor, guys. Like there's
Well,
like nothing I can give.
we'll give it just a couple of seconds. Production overlords, when you feel like you've got a pretty good feel, let me know. 1, banishment is sufficient. 2, it's going to cost her more than this.
Come on.
We have an overwhelming number of 1s in chat, friends. Overwhelming number of 1s.
So you want me to be homeless?
I would have done much worse. Perfect. As you reach out and grab his heart, and you see Zagreus's eyes widen, having no idea that you even knew about his vulnerability, much less could actually harm him in it. As he coughs and sputters and chokes, and the people of the town of Sudia look up and watch what you're doing here. And he drops Chris, and he falls to one knee as you are continuing to squeeze him. And you feel the heart crunching and squelching and the blood running between your fingers. He reaches up and puts a palm on your face and says, "Thou shalt never rest. Thou shalt never come home." And falls to the side. And Chris lands holding his ruined hand. Ate, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do?
Saved you. You're welcome.
No, I didn't want this. Do you know what they'll do to us now?
No, you'll be fine. I got rid of. He's dead. They won't harm you anymore. I saved you. This is how you thank me.
You hear a crackle of thunder in a scream echo through the sky as all of the people duck down and begin hiding and running back into their houses and pulling their children in. And you see Clotho looks up at the sky, and then she looks back at you and she says, "For what it's worth, child, I saw no good choices." And out of the sky, the clouds themselves begin to form into this thick black ectoplasm covered in eyes that spirals down to the ground and spreads across the ground. And as it creeps out, you see plants and stray pets dying, and the houses begin to warp and twist as it reaches out and touches them. And right in front of you, standing right over Zagreus's body, you see an ashen pale woman with jet black eyes that black tears are coming out of. This is Malinoe, his sister.
So technically my sister too. He called me sister earlier.
You think we're sisters? Our father is not like that whore Zeus, spreading his seed far and wide. He would not sully himself with whatever mortal cow spawned you. What have you done, you fool? What have you done?
I did what I had to do. You knew what Zagreus was. He was going to kill babies. He was going to kill who I cared for. And now you want to come down. Out of all times, I've never heard from you before. I've heard the things you've said, but now you want to come for your dear sweet brother. Who, by the way, calls me sister, so...
I think if there is one greater fool on this plane of existence, it was him. And she kicks him with her foot and turns him over as you see his eyes staring up at the sky. And she says, "And yet, there must be a balance. There is a natural order of things. These humans consume the bounty of the earth, the fish from the river, the fowl of the sky. And do you know what we consume? Them. You raising a hand against my brother is no different than if one of these fools raised an axe to a fellow villager to save a beloved goat. How dare you?
I will kill you 1,000 times over if you speak of my mother like that ever again. You see Zagreus landing there? I'll do the same to you. Why don't you join your brother?
Me speak of your mother? You can't speak of her. You don't even know her name. You will suffer for this. You blasphemous cow! I will spend centuries extracting revenge. I will twist you until you beg me to deliver you to the feet of my father. I don't know what he saw in you. Why, he thought you were some beloved pet. A project, perhaps. A bonus fury for when one of those fools got themselves killed somewhere along the way. A spare.
Father.
My father, Hades.
Our father, Hades. You mean?
You. I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you did it, but you will suffer. Only when you beg me for death. Only then will I begin to consider it. And you see, she reaches down, and although, again, he's 8 feet tall, he's huge, she hooks her hand under his armor and lifts his body up and looks at him. And she says, "Be gone from this place." I said, "Be gone!" And you see, it looks like a twisting kaleidoscope of reality, Ate. Everything warps and twists into a hallucinatory montage of screams in terror and the feeling of fingers and flesh all over you, tentacles wrapping and choking you, and suddenly you're alone.
Oh, okay. That's what he meant. Okay, all right. Okay, very funny, Zagreus. Okay. No rest, no home. Nothing new. Ugh. And then she starts looking around, trying to see if there's any way to get out of this darkness outside of, or I mean, anything that she can find a way out.
As you look around, you just see a broken, craggy, windswept plain. It's nowhere you recognize. The earth is barren. You can make out a river that you don't recognize, and a mountain that begins to descend up into the heavens. But this is a place that you've never seen. And you hear a voice. A voice that you've heard before, that has come to you in your meditations. You wouldn't call them prayers, but they might. This is quite a predicament, Ate. Would you like some help?
Yes. I mean, yes. Whoever you are, yes.
The question was rhetorical. As you see right in front of you, there is like a glimmer, and there is a man standing there. He's wearing a black robe, but he has a hood pulled back. He is slender and very lightly dressed, but you recognize Hermes' distinctive winged sandals immediately. He says, "Don't mistake what I am about to do for generosity. You owe me. We have a covenant of debt. And I need you to survive. until you have fulfilled your usefulness. But fear not. That also means I may be the one and only God that you can trust. Never, ever gamble against self-interest.
Sure. Thank you, Hermes. Also love the shoes, by the way. What is that? Spring 05 BC? Anyways,
It is that
thank you.
mouth that got you into this mess.
True. Thank you for your help. And I am forever in your debt.
And he says, well, good news, bad news. Actually, bad news, worse news.
Okay.
You have deposited at the crossroads, it seems. Why would she send you here?
Well, okay.
You could go that way, up Olympus.
That's Olympus.
Or you can
Oh.
way down into Hades. I don't think she sent you here as a kindness.
No, she knows. She knows what she's doing. She knows I can't go to any of them. Even if I am. Huh?
Perhaps with some help you could.
Okay, well, your shoes are way too big for me. I can't.
Excuse me. And he pulls the hood over his face. And you see when he pulls the hood over, he actually turns ashen pale like those spirits. And he says, I'm one of the few that is allowed to walk in both worlds, and pushes it back. And he's like, yeah, so whatever. I mean, Olympus, Hades.
You can get me in. You can get me in.
Of course I can.
Hermes, do you know what this means? I finally get to go where I belong. Hermes.
Remember what I said before about I don't think she was doing anything to help you?
Yeah, but with your cloak, can't you pretend I can be a spirit? Watch.
No, that was a very convincing spirit. You've seen several. I can take you to Hades if you like. I mean, I can take you to the place Hades. I can't take you to the person Hades unless the person Hades wants you to be taken to him. If that's what you'd like, yes. Wait, you know Charon, you know the Furies. Like, haven't you done this like 100 times already?
But they never let me down there. They say something about you're only a half god, a demigod. You don't belong there. That's not fair. Why do they get to live up there in their shiny little mountains and chariots, or down there and run a kingdom? And I don't get any of this. I belong. Don't give me that face, Mr. Fancy Golden Shoes. Okay.
Okay. Excuse me.
Those shoes make you look fat.
Excuse me. First of all, these shoes make me legendary. That's the first thing. Second of all, I think you're sort of overlooking just one minor detail. You just killed a god. Do you know what that means? A mortal struck down a god. The world may as well have fallen off of its axis. Up should be down. Day should be night. Left should be right. There are some things that just are in this world. One of those things is the gods rule. And you have proven that that is not the case. We have lost so much in emotions up at that river. What we have left, we fight and scrape and cannibalize for. And now we don't have that. Do you know how impossibly desperate you have now just made every god? Every god.
Oh, so you're saying I should kill more and give back to the people. They've taken so much from them. Hermes. Hermes, are you mad at one of the uncles? I can take care of it for you, don't you know? Say the word. Send me up there, Hermes. Send me up there. I won't tell anyone. It'll be fine. Look at how these people starve, and they give their babies away to be sacrificed to the likes of Zagreus. He doesn't even know how to read. Send me up there. I'll take care of it all. I will make sure the mortals are given what they deserve, and they are no longer under the rule of these disgusting gods, these violent gods they've taken me in before any of these gods ever did. Let me do this for them. And I will be forever in your debt.
You're already in my debt to have made it this far. Let me just ask you just one question. One question. That I personally would like to know, but I would also like to know if you know. How would you do that? Just
How did I? Well, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how. I guess I got really angry because he was hurting Chris. I can't. And then something it's like I blacked out, you know?
So what you're saying is you got lucky. You got lucky. And you were like, in the face of the gods, I'll get lucky again. Like that's your answer. Do you know how many gamblers think they will continue to roll 7 again and again and again? How many people think that their hand of cards will always be aces every time? How many prayers can you hear them? Because I can hear them. I hear them praying to me right now for the games of the cup and balls that they will win their wagers.
Okay, no.
And that's your plan to gamble?
I'm sure I can probably do it again. Like I could watch. And then she kind of just stares down the ground, tries to concentrate. Like, okay,
I
push my mouth. My fist.
Hey,
Hermes, give me your mouth real quick.
You do feel something different when you look down and you think to yourself, how can I do it again? You feel a power that you did not possess before. You feel like you took something from Zagreus, just like he took something from you.
He didn't.
You feel like you took his power of the hunt.
Hermes.
Hermes,
let me show you something real quick. Hermes, let me show you something.
I realize,
Hermes,
I mean, I'm the fastest god. I can get away before the bolt strikes you dead. Yes.
Hermes, just hear me out. I want to try something. I don't know if it's going to work, but let me try something real quick.
Okay.
I want you to run as fast as you can.
I'm literally the fastest being in existence. Like, how far do you want me to go?
Just run. And I'm going to try to catch you. I'm going to try to hunt you down. I know it sounds crazy, but I just have this, I have this feeling, Hermes, please. And then if this works, will you trust me that I can do this?
Trust is strong. But here's what I'll do. I will give you, I don't know. I'll give you some time, and if you haven't found me, I'll find you again, because this is ridiculous. And you see, he just shimmers and is gone.
And you said Zagreus gave me the power of the hunt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well,
which means that is now one of your divine powers, and you can wield a power, but you have to roll. And this might go good for you, or this might go terrible for you. Because you are like a circuit trying to channel quite a lot of ability. So there's a little bit of a checklist that we have to go down here.
Done this specifically. You're desperate for this to work.
You have to ask yourself, have you done this specific act before perfectly? The answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Are you desperate for this to work?
Yes.
So that means you are going to take 1 strain.
Ouch.
Strain reflects the mental, emotional, spiritual duress that you are under. You only have 5 points of strain total. By gritting your teeth and willing this into existence, you will take 1 strain. You're close to a shrine layer of domain. I'll give you this. I'll say yes. So you're going to roll 2d6, and we're going to add 2 to it. So let's.
You got it.
Is that a 9 again?
Nope.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
That's a 12. Oh, okay.
Plus 2.
Which
14.
makes 18. So, interesting thing in this system, 1 through 6 is just a miss. That's bad. 7 through 9, the thing works. That's good. A 10 plus is overkill. which is also bad. Okay.
Okay. I got it. So
You know what?
want
I
me-
think this is a great time for us to take a break. 'Cause I got to come up with something delightfully terrible for how this power works a little too well. So
Okay.
I think that is an excellent time for our production overlords to pop back in here. We will do a quick 10 when they are ready. Don't go nowheres. Quick 10, and we will come back when everything is going to be fine. It isn't fine, but we'll be right back.
We'll be right back, folks. What a journey! See you on 10. Shpijo, bijo. Hello, transplay nerds and new friends alike. Do you want to play TTRPGs but aren't sure where to start? Maybe you don't have a GM or players or a consistent schedule that everyone can stick to. Whatever your obstacles might be, I've got a solution for you. Start playing games. And by that, I mean the website, startplaying.games. Start Playing is the largest online platform for players to find a playgroup and professional GMs for any game system and any virtual tabletop. Over 20,000 players have found their playgroup through startplaying.games. Game masters set their own price, ranging from free sessions to paid adventures, and their search functionality allows you to sort games by system, length, schedule, and price. You can sign up with a group of friends or meet new ones through startplaying.games. Whether you're brand new to RPGs, a seasoned veteran, or just curious about what's out there, startplaying.games has you covered. Sign up for a free account today by using !startplaying in chat. And without further ado, let's get right into it.
Hello and welcome back to Godkiller. I would be remiss if I didn't mention at the top of this, especially because the second half might get spicy, some content warnings. Fantasy violence, gore, body horror, death, killing, and fire. I also have to point out, because this story is heavily based on Greek mythology, unfortunately, non-consensual relationships are a recurring theme in Greek mythology, which I will veil to the best of my ability, but it is somewhat related to the subject matter, so content warnings all around.
Mm-hmm.
Ate the Radiant, having cruelly stolen Zagreus's power along with his life, you have manifested your ability of the hunt. And based on the results of your roll, it works, but it works too well, and something goes wrong. As you extend your mind and your will and your senses out across the planes of reality, you hear the countless footsteps of Hermes moving impossibly quickly. You smell the scent of 1,000 rooms that he's been in, temples standing over adherents that were praying, watching battles, observing things, almost never intervening, no matter how much they begged, no matter how much they prayed, no matter how much they wailed. Hermes was there. He didn't do anything until you're somewhere else. Right behind him. He's just walking, and he's like, this is such a waste of time. But I mean, I have to let her see that she's like, okay, I'm going to catch you. I'm the fastest being in existence.
No, go on.
No, what were you going to say?
Okay, so I'm right behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Ate is following his footsteps ever so closely without him even realizing she's behind him. She is following him step by step, in a place full of cats, apparently. She reaches out.
His domain.
His domain. She reaches out And she flicks him in the back of the head ever so gently. Hermes.
He turns around and looks at you, and he's like, how did you? And then his face freezes. He's like, how did we get here? How did we get here?
I told you I'd find you.
No, how did we get here? And you see behind you,
where? Oh,
there is a waterfall. It is beautiful. It is idyllic next to a lake. And there is a small cabin, very humble, not the type of place that you would expect a god to live. And Hermes just looks at it and he's like, you shouldn't be here. What? We shouldn't be here.
Wait, what do you mean? Hermes, no, I found you. What do you mean here? I don't know where we are, but I found you.
Come here. I don't know how you got me here. Leave. We got to go. But what power did you use to bring us here? We've got to go now.
I hunted you down. Zagreus, I guess I got this new power from Zagreus. Isn't it awesome?
Hermes, is that you? And you see his jaw drops. And he turns towards the house. And he says, Ate.
Yeah.
I have always looked upon you kindly. But if this is some trick, I swear there is no hell that I will not pursue you to.
No, I'm not doing any tricks. What do you mean? Who is that?
Oh, you brought a friend. I don't have time to play right now. And you see the door swings open, and you see the most magnificently beautiful being you have ever seen in your life. Pletho is the goddess of persuasion and seduction. Everything about her is electric.
Ooh.
The easy way the gown clings to her body, the flirty way which she looks at you and winks and walks over towards Hermes, and you see he just freezes. And she says, baby, you look like you've seen a ghost. And she just reaches up and kisses him. And his eyes are huge.
Hermes, do you know her? Hermes, who's that? She seems lovely.
She turns and looks at you and she goes, thank you. You're lovely too. I love this porcelain skin in the black thing. This is incredible. Oh, and these gloves. Oh, did Hephaestus make these gloves?
No, I mean, I made these myself. Thank you. Oh, I put a lot of love into this.
But look at you. What must you be the goddess of? Let me see. Fierceness.
Oh, stop. You are the sweet Hermes. She is so nice.
My husband forgets himself. My name is Pletho. Hi.
Hermes, you pulled her. This is your wife. Oh my God. Hi.
See, Hermes hasn't said a word. He's like,
oh my, it is so lovely to meet you. You are stunning. You and Hermes. Wow, Hermes, you are a very lucky god. Why didn't you tell me sooner?
Why didn't you tell him sooner? Listen, a less secure woman would be upset to find her husband with this beautiful young woman here who doesn't know I exist, apparently, but I am not that person.
Oh yeah.
What is your name?
I am Ate. Lovely to meet you.
It's Ate. Well, you should just come in and have a cup of tea. Why are you being so strange? Hermes, let's go. Come on. He reaches out to hug her with both hands, and you hear that howl again. The same howl of Zagreus's roar when he arrived, and especially when he died. And this place changes. The flowers wilt. The colors of the house fade.
What's happening?
The waterfall stops falling and is dried into brown, brackish water. And Hermes is on the ground holding Pletho's body, dead.
Hermes, what happened? What just happened? What did you... Hermes?
You're not supposed to see this. You weren't here. I wasn't here. I'm the fastest. I wasn't here.
What do you... She reaches down and puts her hand on Hermes' shoulder. What are you talking about? What happened here?
She was taken from me. I don't know by who. I've never known by who. She's dead. And as you look clearly, you can see a black handprint around her neck. Just one that has clearly choked the life out of her. And she lays lifeless in his arms as he is just rocking back and forth holding her.
Hermes, I'm sorry. I don't know how this happened.
Why would you curse me with this vision?
Wait, you're telling me this happened before? This wasn't just now?
Yes, this is before!
Oh no. I followed
Who did this?
you through
I'll tell you
time.
who did this.
I
Who
don't
did this?
I followed you, and I guess we went too fast and we went in time.
You see, he reaches up and he grabs you. And for the first time, you realize his power as a god. You weigh nothing in his hand as he snatches you towards him.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry.
You hunted me to this. Fine. Then hunt who did this. Hunt who did this, and your debt to me will be complete.
I'll find them. I'll find them. I promise. I will. I'll kill them.
He lifts you off the ground and he says, mortals were not meant to dabble in such a power, but fine, if you choose to, if you find to upset the order, let us upset it all the way. Tell me who. Show me. Do it. Do it.
I got this power from Zagreus. That's how
Choose it again.
I don't think I hold on.
You can choose to roll again.
Oh, I can do it again?
And yes, there is a specific set of circumstances on which you can release a miracle and never use the power again. Unfortunately, you are not at those circumstances right now.
Yeah.
All you can do is roll and try again.
Oh, God. Okay. Oh, that's right. I have his power. I can use it whenever. Got it.
Again, there are some specific circumstances that you can use it never again, but we are not at those.
Yeah. Okay.
You just see Hermes clutching Plytho's body and just rocking back and forth and saying something in her ear.
Hermes, I'll get us out of here. Hold on. I can do this again.
Plytho, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She grabs onto Hermes's arm. I'm going to wield power. I'm going to roll. You've done the specific act before perfectly. Nope. I'm desperate for this to work. Oh God, yeah, probably. Or is he's gonna?
That will be a second strain.
And you're close to a shrine, lair, or domain of a god you took the power from. I'm not.
You are not. However, I will give you the one of you've done this before. Perfectly is debatable because you chased him through time. But I will give you this.
Okay.
So I will let you add 2 to this.
Okay. Oh boy, here we go. Oh God. Oh.
So 5, 7, that's 9. That actually is a success.
Oh God. Okay. Hermes, I'm sorry. I'll fix this. And she grabs on to Hermes.
A couple of things happen. Ate. You see the scene begin to swirl and move backwards. You see the water start to come up in the pool. You see the waterfall begin to fall. You see the flowers begin to bloom again. The color come back to the house. I will attempt to be diplomatic about this, but I give a content warning for some heavy things. Plytho springs back to life out of Hermes' hands, moving backwards towards her day. And you see her move back into the house. and you hear yelling coming from inside. And you hear her saying, I said no. And when my husband hears of this, there is no place that you will be able to hide from him. I don't fear him. I don't fear anyone. And you see the door opens up and Platho comes backing out of the house, very much holding her hands up, saying, listen, I'm very flattered that one such as you would cast your eyes upon a humble servant such as me. And you see Hades walk into the doorway. Few things in life are inevitable, but death is one of them. Imagine what could be accomplished by our union if mortals were to embrace their fate, if they were willingly to allow themselves to embrace eternity. We could do anything. That is a noble and beautiful vision, one that I think you should share with Persephone. I believe she shares your interests in life and death. She has betrayed me. She allowed Zeus to slither into our marriage bed. She allowed him to father a son, claims he was mine. I smell my brother on Zagreus. He's no son of mine. But with you, there is no limit to what we could accomplish. And he comes walking forward and she says, I understand that again, but I'm sure my husband Hermes will be home any minute now. And our union is quite pleasing. And you see Hades walks towards her and he looks and he says, this place, truly beautiful. You have made something that you should be proud of. All of this life, all of this color. This, like love, reaches out and grabs her neck. Is but temporary. I accept that you refuse to join me in this life. But perhaps, and you hear him squeeze, and you hear, Hermes. Perhaps in my domain, which is eternal, you will reevaluate. And you hear, and he looks at her and just drops her. Yeah. Messenger of the gods. Who will he tell about this? And you see flames erupt around him, and Hades is gone. And Hermes is. Ate, did you see that?
Gina, very quickly, you're muted. That's all.
I was too shocked and couldn't say anything. Hermes, I'm sorry. I did. I will make this right by you for helping me.
Ate. He's the god of the underworld. One of the shared rulers of all things with Zeus and Poseidon. My power is great. I'm no match for him. And neither are you.
He may be a god of the underworld, but I am the child of the underworld. And if I can kill one god, I can kill another. I am in your debt. And I have a few words to share to my father also.
You see Hermes looks down at Plato's body. Still warm this time. The bruise fresh. You notice something, Ate. You notice she has a small silver bell hanging from her belt. You didn't see it in the future when Hermes finds her body, but it's there now.
Alte walks over and she grabs the bell. She turns to Hermes and says, is this yours, Hermes? And shows it to him.
I've never seen it.
Never. Are you sure?
Once again, to give you a little context, one of the brilliance of this system is you begin with a couple of covenants, relationships that you already have with gods. The ones Ate has chosen is bitterness, debt, and grief. And the grief is for the death of Pytho, and her body, her corpse, contains a secret. That secret is this bell. The debt you owed Hermes is to help him find who killed his wife. And the bitterness, well, I think there's enough bitterness to go around.
Hermes, I promise you. I made you a promise that I will find whoever does, or I will kill whoever did this to your wife. And she...
You see, he just sits down and he pushes the hood back. And you see he reaches down and he takes the shoes off. I've seen everything. I've heard every prayer, every proclamation. I remember the glory of the time before. I've looked into countless mortal eyes. I've heard the voices of the gods, their songs and dances. And I have only ever known love once. You wish to kill another god. Take whatever power you can of mine. I offer it freely. Do it. Do it and bury me here with my wife. And you see, he pushes the shoes out in front of you, because one of the things that you must know in order to kill a god is you have to know their downfall. You have to know their weakness. For Zagreus, you saw his beating heart. This is not something that a god would freely reveal. In fact, they would go to great lengths not to. But as Hermes pushes the shoes towards him and bares his throat to you, you know that he's showing you his.
Oh, no.
Now, you do have a choice. You can kill a god or you can spare a god. And if you spare a god, you will still gain the power that he's trying to give you. But if he is freely offering his life to you, he may or may not be pleased by your mercy. But it is an option that you have. And I need you to know, it is completely up to you.
Ate graciously accepts his shoes and his, was it a cloak?
He just gave you the shoes.
The shoes. Oh, shoes. She graciously accepts.
Actually, he'll give you his cloak too. He'll take it off and lay it on
the
the ground.
She accepts it.
I wasn't there. I'm everywhere. And I wasn't there.
She looks at Hermes and says, "You'll be there now. In Hermes' name, I accept." And she wraps her gauntlet around his throat and squeezes as tight as she can, and you hear a snap.
If it is your intent to kill him, I still need you to roll.
Yeah.
Because he is allowing this, I might grade on a little bit of a curve.
Okay.
But I want to know what the dice say.
Oh, no.
That is 11. Good news, bad news. There isn't again, because Hermes has allowed this, because he expressly wishes to be with Plato forever, I will reduce some of the negativity that comes with this. But something is going to change. Something is going to change forever in this world. Something is going to be transformed, liberated, shielded. Something changed forever because Hermes' presence is no longer in this world. I will let you tell me what that is. The messenger of the gods is no more. What does that mean? I know what I think it means. Actually, you know what?
Oh,
Chat.
no.
Does Ate get to decide what that means? Or do I? Because I got a good one. So one in chat, if Ate decides what the death of Hermes means for this world. Two in chat, if I decide what the death of Hermes means in this world.
Oh, no, I can't. Oh, no.
I got a good one. I got a good one. But I already started saying you could tell me. So that's why I will say no take backs. I got a good one, though.
Oh, they're monsters, B-Dave. They're monsters.
Oh, they want me to do it? They want me to do it?
Yeah, they want you to do it, dude. It's a resounding 2. And then 1, sorry, Gina.
Production overlord, you don't even have to intervene this time. Because the messenger of the gods is no more. The gods can no longer hear prayers.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do too. You and me, but you and me.
You have severed the connection between the cries and pleas of the mortal world and those who on high can hear them. But in doing so, you have gained Hermes' ability to be the fastest being alive and to be anywhere.
Oh. Ate carries Hermes' body and lays him next to his wife, and she whispers a simple thank you and lays a flower on both of them. And
is it your intent to bury them as requested?
Oh, did he request that?
Yeah, he said bury me with my wife.
Oh, I gotta dig. All right. Yes. Yes.
That must be real rough.
It is. I may be a godling, but there are some things I can't do. She buries them next or in the same grave and lets them and puts their hands together so that they are reunited for all eternity.
You see, as you lay them to rest and you bury them.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh wait. She
Yes.
reaches in her pockets, brings out 4 coins, and lays it on their eyes.
Because what kind of monster would have brought that up again?
Got you. You leave them alone.
If you were looking for justice, you've come to the wrong place. As you lay them to rest with the coins on their eyes to pay the boatman, the life doesn't return to this place. It's gone forever. But you do see a very thin mat of very small flowers blossom on their graves.
Oh.
And now you have the bell. You have a target.
Oh.
You theoretically have the ability to be anywhere.
I think.
What would you like to do?
Ate sits down next to the bed of flowers and straps on the shoes.
Strangely, they fit perfectly.
She puts her hand on the flowers as a last goodbye and stands up. Well, no home to go home to. Might as well make my own. I don't know what's gonna happen, but she rings the bell.
You would like to ring the bell?
Yes.
Would you like to ring the bell or would you like to use Hermes' power? Because they're two different things. I just want to be clear on what it is you intend, right?
Oh gosh, okay. I don't know what the bell does. I don't know if it signals someone or it calls for Charon to come pick me up. I don't and I don't even know where to go. I can't just pop up in the
Well,
now because of my shoes.
well,
right?
you actually have some options. One of the things you can do is pray
wield
for
my
guidance.
power. Oh,
Well, you could wield your power. You could pray for guidance. You got a few things. Theoretically, your sister Melinoe is out there somewhere. Hades has done Hermes dirty, and you said that you would get revenge. Hades has theoretically done you dirty as well.
Right?
There, you have options, but what would you like to do?
Oh crap! I killed 2 gods already. I can't use my servant moves.
You can't.
I knew I was
So,
forgetting something. Okay.
Dear friends, there's certain moves that you can do. That some are available when you've only killed one god, and others are available when you've killed multiple gods. Okay, all right, hold on, chat. You know what? I'm not gonna ask chat because we're 1-1 right now, so I'm prepared. I'm happy leaving this 1-1. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to roll just 1 die.
Oh,
if it's
okay.
even, I'm gonna do something good for you. If it's odd, I'm gonna do something good for me.
Okay.
So yeah, just roll 1.
Oh boy, here we go.
Even's what
Even.
you want. Even is what you want.
Okay.
Fine. Because Hermes freely offered up his life, I will allow you to use your servant ability before it is no longer available to you. Which means you can ask me 1 of 3 questions and I will answer truthfully.
Okay.
Who here can help you despite the danger? How can you make them trust you? And how can you pass unnoticed?
I mean, I can't ask who here will help me. Everyone's dead.
Correct.
How can I make them?
You already know who.
The dead people? Okay.
Also correct.
I need to go. Oh.
Well, again, in the spirit of goodness, that we're playtesting a new game, and I want it to seem as enjoyable as possible while making it as terrible as possible, I will allow you to apply this question to where you're trying to go. So wherever it is your intent to go, I will allow you to apply it there.
Okay. Honestly, I want to go kill Hades because the other chick, like, she was just mad. Whatever. I can deal with people being mad at me. It's fine. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm gonna go find Hades. I want to go find Hades because
relative to the domain of Hades, you can ask me who in Hades will help you despite the danger. How can you make that person trust you, or how can you pass unnoticed?
Oh man, I kind of want to be sneaky. I want to ask, how can I pass unnoticed?
Use the cloak.
I feel like I wasted belt. Okay. Okay.
You know what? I will let you ask one of the other 2. It's fine. This is just a 1-shot. It's a happy occasion here.
I swear, I just heard Hermes' spirit whispering, "Yeah, dumbass." Like, what?
Yeah, Hermes is like, I gave you the shoes and the cloak, pimpin'. I showed you what happened when I put the cloak on. Like, I literally demonstrated for you how the cloak works. You know, hi, it's me, Hermes,
like,
the one who just died for you.
Like,
yeah,
you
right.
know?
Remember me? Yeah.
Okay.
I swear we covered this, and it was like 5 minutes ago.
Okay. I would like to go. I would like to ask who in the realm of Hades will help me despite the danger.
Persephone.
Who? Oh,
Persephone.
wait, wasn't that the person they were talking about earlier? Hades.
No, Persephone is Hades' wife. The Pytho is the name of Hermes' dead wife.
Yeah, Pytho was talking about how Persephone would love blah 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 whatever, right? Okay, Persephone. I need to go find
Hades' wife.
Okay. Wait a minute. His wife.
Mother of the Furies, mother of Zagreus and Malinoe. Yep.
And possibly my mother. Okay. All right. We're bringing mommy issues into this. Let's do it. Okay. Okay. Ate throws on the cloak and Hermes' shoes. God, what does Belle do? I don't. Okay, can you clarify Hermes' power? Can I just pop into where I need to go?
You will need to roll for it, but Hermes has the ability to be anywhere.
Anywhere, okay.
That's what Hermes does. Yep.
Okay, let me go through my options here. Let's see, do as you're told, connect with someone, pray for guidance.
It is use your, well, oh yeah, no, look at your abilities. Mm-hmm.
Hold on, if I pray for guidance,
mm-hmm.
When you pray for guidance, name the aid you seek and answer one. What kind of God answers your prayers? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Act impulsively.
Act impulsively is an option.
Okay, you know what? I would like to pray for guidance.
Perfect. So when you pray for guidance, you don't have to roll. You answer one question, and then I will answer one question. Either what kind of God answers your prayers, or what unclear omen or vision do you get?
Okay, I would like to answer what kind of God answers your prayers.
Okay.
All right, my dude, can you tell me the best way to go into the underworld and how to find Hades? And I feel like the God that answers my prayers would be a God of, is there like a God of like a God of clarity and vision and or protection?
Apollo or Athena?
Athena is pretty dope. We're gonna go with Apollo.
Apollo. Perfect. The way this works is the aid will come, and then you have an omen or a vision.
Okay.
And as you call out to Apollo, a beam of light shines down from the heavens, almost blinding as you hate the sun. And he's there in front of you, golden, gleaming, his hair blowing in a wind that is unseen and unfelt otherwise. And he just looks you up and down, and he says, well. And he turns and he looks towards Hermes in Plaito's grave, and he just says, this has been an eventful day. Ate, right?
Yeah, hi, yes. Yes, Ate.
I would like to clarify something. Your intent is not simply to make it into the underworld, but to be able to exit again afterwards, because entrance into the underworld is not difficult to come by. You have visited it upon 2 of my family already today.
Yes, I would like to apologize for that, but I can assure you that Hermes, this was his decision, and it was simply an act of mercy to rejoin his wife. It was not out of malicious intent.
Oh, I believe you. And my nephew Zagreus was an asshole. Believe me, if I wish you dead and you don't see him move, he is impossibly fast. He's just there, and then he has a golden bow drawn at you with a beam of lightning crackling through it. And he says, if I wished you harm, I would have done it already. And he just like puts it on his back again.
That was really hot. But okay, yeah.
You wish an audience with my brother. Yes?
Yes. I need to see Hades, and I would like to leave in one piece, the best I can.
There are not many ways for a mortal to enter the underworld and leave again. A few have figured it out. There was, let me think, wily Odysseus, pulled this off. There is... Oh, which one of those Argonauts made it in and out?
May I please, if I may speak, to be completely
He's
transparent
like,
with you,
Orpheus went poorly for Orpheus.
yeah.
Heracles, they're in and out. Same thing. Drank a little much. Theseus,
Yeah.
although it's always hard to know, was it really Theseus or is it
The
not
worst.
Theseus? Sorry, I'm rambling. You were going to say something?
I was going to say, to be completely transparent with you, I intend to kill Hades.
And he looks at the grave and he's like, I've sort of answered my own question. I was going to say, can you kill a god? The answer is apparently. Follow-up question. Can you kill the god of death? See that little hiccup there? I mean, Apollo, I see everything. I like to think I know a thing or two. I don't know everything. That's more my sister Athena's thing. And she doesn't know everything. She's just wise. I hate it when she's right, and she's right a lot.
Yeah.
But even I can see that one. And he just taps the bow and he's like, and I rarely miss.
I'm sure. I believe you. I'm sure you never miss. Now,
Rarely. It would be gauche of me to say that I never miss, although I cannot recall. As far as I know, and I know pretty far, I've yet to miss, but it's possible. But yeah, that's sort of that does seem to be a fly in the ointment, such as it is.
Yeah. Again, earlier you were saying, what's your relationship with Hermes again? Is that his
my brother?
Oh, right. Okay, got it. Okay.
There's lots of us brothers, cousins, uncle. Yeah, it's awkward.
Brother, cousins, sister, wives. Yeah.
It gets really weird with that, to tell you the truth. But I mean, who am I to judge?
Right.
Olympus, the all-seeing god
Alabama,
of light.
Who knows?
Yeah.
As I was saying, to be transparent with you, I intend on killing Hades himself. It turns out that the reason why your brother Hermes here is dead is because, yes, I did take his life, but it's because he wanted to be reunited with his wife. His wife, who he did not know, was killed by Hades himself. So ipso facto, you kind of technically can blame it on Hades now that your brother's dead. Now, I know this is a lot. And you, now listen, you, golden, glistening, handsome, fast, beautiful, a god amongst god, yes? And as you say, you never miss, or rarely ever miss, yes?
Rarely. No time that I can think of.
So, to avenge your brother's death, may you lend me your power.
Whoa. That's a bit strong. I'm prepared to help, but I'm not prepared. I
mean, it is your brother, no? I mean, if Hades can kill one, who knows? He might come after you.
Let's see how we want to do this. Of whether or not you can get Apollo to help you.
I mean, look at him. He is just so dead. And aren't you sad? Wouldn't you want to avenge your brother's death? I mean, he is like, when he died, he looked at me and said, if only I can see my family again. That was the last thing that he said.
Ate, don't lie. You're a bad liar, and I see everything. He just taps his head, and an eye that looks like the glowing sun opens.
Right. My bad.
You were doing better before. A little less.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
Bring it back. Here's how we will do this. And I apologize to Connie, who can hear this, as I am stretching the system perhaps in ways that it was unintended, but here we are. I will let you roll to tempt fate to see if Apollo will help you.
Okay.
This
What do
can
you-
go. This can go well. This can go not well.
All right.
So,
What do you want me to roll?
we have 3 true statements. I would say a skilled ally is lending you a hand. No. You have no other options. That's
right,
true.
right. Okay, I got it.
And you are not near the domain or agents of a god that wishes you harm. You are not. You are safe here. So you can roll this and you can add 2 to it.
Skilled allies lending you a hand. You have no other options. Right. Okay.
Mhm.
You got it.
We're going to tempt fate.
Tempt fate. Okay.
YOLO, chat.
Oh God. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Hey, Apollo. Just want to let you know you look extra nice today. All right. Roll.
Roll it. That is 5 plus 2, which is 7, which is a hit.
Yes. Apollo, you are just like, and I've been hearing rumors about you being such a kind god, and how Hermes even said that you are one of his favorite brothers. So, if to avenge his death, I would need a very powerful weapon. I mean, who else to go to but the god that never misses. And now, listen, if you were to ever hit on me, I will tell you right now, you would never miss.
You see, the moment that you flirt with him and appeal to his ego, he's very much trying to talk himself out of it. Then he's like, oh. Well, perhaps if you should survive the next few hours, you might get a true taste of divinity.
Oh, now see, now what with any other god, I would be like, oh, black, gross. No, I'm not into that. No, I don't roll that. But for Apollo himself, oh, absolutely.
I will loan you my bow. Be advised, I will tell everyone you stole it.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair. But can you at least wait maybe an hour or 2 before you tell them?
I don't know if you can wield its power. And he does draw it, and you see it is gleaming golden with a string that looks like it is made out of the very fabric of heaven itself. It's like, simply draw it back and the arrow will appear. However, you know it was not going to be that easy. You still have to roll on the spare a god
Apollo
table. Yes.
Now, we all know how wonderful and handsome and strong and beautiful and an incredible god you are. Now, what would people think if they knew that a simple little godling, a demigod, not even a whole god, stole your bow? Now, that would they would never let you live it down. Now, how about?
He just reaches out and puts a finger on your lips. And he says, I think you're fascinating. I think you were great and fearsome to behold. And this is the most interesting day that I can think of. But I fought alongside my brothers to overthrow the Titans. We cut our father into pieces and cast his bits into the sea. We existed in time immemorial before the first crawling things made their way across these plains. We fought Titans in battle. We crafted Hades, the domain, from our own hands. Nothing, no one could make me raise hand against my own brother. But if I were to simply misplace my bow for a time, perhaps it would be a curiosity, and takes his fingers away from your lip.
Thank you. Okay.
Tastes like honey, I know.
Yes. Wow. Oh, it does. Yeah, that is incredible. Okay, you're right. Okay, so yes, I stole your bow. So I need to roll to spare. Because technically I'm sparing. I'm not killing him.
We're rolling to see to what extent can you harness this power.
Okay.
So,
okay, here we go.
He is freely offering it. You're not actually killing him, but we're gonna see.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh god, here we go. And then hold on. Does that do my hold on?
Don't add anything. It is
There's no
straight
buffs or
up,
anything? Okay.
straight up 2d6.
Oh boy, here we go.
That's a big old 3. We'll come back to what that means when you try to use the bow.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
But he does hand it to you.
Ate takes the bow and it's heavy. She almost drops it. Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's
He's
heavier
like,
than
you
it looks.
tense your core there. It's archery. It's all. Yeah. You don't draw the bow so much as lean. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
You see he walks over and he sits next to Hermes and Pletho's grave and he says, enjoy your audience with my brother. I think I shall spend some time with another.
Understood. Thank you, Apollo. And she heads off. She throws a cloak over her head and walks off.
I won't actually make you roll for this because you know the way to the border of Hades quite well. And as you arrive at the gates, they are tall and looming with a procession of souls wandering through. And you see him there, Cerberus, the three-headed dog. He's the size of a house. And one of the heads is chewing on a bone, and the other two heads are just watching who's coming through the gates. They are weeping and crying, most of them. A few walk through, their heads held high into the afterlife. And he's simply watching.
Okay.
Are you about to try and give 10 scritches to Cerberus?
Maybe.
I mean, I'll let you roll for 10 scritches, 10 scritches for Cerberus, but I mean,
yeah.
it's a roll that is literally a roll of the dice.
I mean, yeah, just walk by a dog and not pet it. Okay, Ate grabs a small piece of bread that was left over from Chris's, and tries to entice him with it. And here we go. Let's do it.
This is gonna be tempt fate again.
Oh yeah, tempting fate.
So I'll say a skilled ally, food, is lending you a hand. You've super got other options. No, yeah, you do. And you are not near the domain of an agent or a god that wishes you harm.
Yeah.
So yeah, you will add 1 to this.
Okay. Let's see. All right, here we go. Who's a good boy?
That's a big old 4. Plus 1 is a 5. 6 or less is a miss. So as you turn and you're like, oh, you good boy, his mouth slams down on you and lifts you up off your feet instantly. And you hear, Cerberus, give, Cerberus, give.
Stop it.
Give. You give right now. Give. And you feel the second head bite down on your legs and begin to pull you apart here. And she's like, I said, you give right now. And you hear blah, as you covered in slobber fall at the feet of, quite frankly, the goddess that you have probably resented the most in life, Persephone. She stands out completely against this place. She looks slightly washed out, but here at the solstice, she is freshly returning to Hades, and you can still smell the scent of spring on her, of life, of flowers. But as she returns here to the underworld for half of the year, you know it is a time in which the earth will go to sleep and death will take its way on the surface. And she looks at you with disgustingly kind eyes. Ate, you have hated her. Actually, let's find out something here. Would you like to connect with Persephone? If you do, you will have to tell her something intimate.
Yeah.
And then answer either what common ground do you share or what still divides.
I know exactly what has to happen. Ate stands up.
You, Cerberus, you go. Cerberus, you go. It's a bad Cerebus. And he
Ate throws
just-
the piece of bread at Cerebus's head and dinks off his head. He barely feels it.
Mm-hmm. And he moves back over and she goes, sorry, the guardian of the underworld. You know?
Yeah. Persephone, right? Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay. Ate starts just kind of wiping all the slobber off of her. Like,
It's rough. It is just thick and
Ugh.
viscous, like a mix of like swamp slime and honey. It is just something that a 4,000-pound multi-headed Rottweiler from hell could generate. Just
God. The breath is awful. What do you feed that thing?
consoles mostly. The occasional hero that tries to sneak in.
Anyways, well, if it isn't Persephone, back from your little vacation, living on your mountain, smelling like flowers, it must be very nice.
So I'm sort of detecting a little bit of negativity here. Yes, I did spend 6 months with my mother Demeter on the surface, and I have returned here to the underworld again, which is like clearly my fault somehow. But
Oh yeah, it's your. You know what?
You see, she looks.
You sound a little ungrateful. Like it must be nice to have not one but two homes, and parents that love you. You don't even. So you're telling me a mortal. Wait, she's a mortal, right?
She's a goddess.
She's a goddess.
No,
is she?
Yeah, she's a goddess.
Oh, she's a goddess. Well, whatever. So you're telling me that you get to go at like twice a year, and you have both homes, and you never have to worry about where to lay your head at night.
Oh, what I'm telling you is I get to spend half of the year not here. And I would also tell you, be very mindful of the food, because apparently there is some implications with the consuming of pomegranate seeds here that were not exactly clear at the time.
Yeah, they'll get you with that.
So, and you see she looks down and she sees Hermes' shoes on your feet, and then looks at you and she says, and then she sees Apollo's bow on your back and says, to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit? I didn't recall receiving an offering from you earlier.
Offerings, of course. Can I connect? I'm going to connect with her.
Okay.
When you try to connect, tell them something intimate and answer one. Oh, balls. My name is Ate. I have reason to believe that you are my mother. And or at least Hades is my father. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing out there in the world. It might be, I don't know. Who knows what he's doing, who he's doing, we don't know. And what common ground do we share?
Well, but you have to tell him something intimate. I don't know that thinking that Hades is your father counts as intimate.
That wasn't intimate?
Lots of people think Hades is their father.
Oh, true. Something intimate. Okay, I don't have a home, and I'm desperately searching for one, and I have reason to believe that it's either going to be here or on Olympus, because I belong there.
There's something more intimate. You should tell her.
Hermes is dead as dicks? No.
I will help you there with your reminder.
Oh no. Hold on.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yes.
Oh yes.
I am God, I have to say this again. I already did it with that creepy old lady. I'm jealous of you. I hate you because you have a home. You have two homes. You belong everywhere, and I belong nowhere. So I'm all right. Is that all you need to know? Is that want to know what it's like to have a home.
And tell me either what common ground do you share or what still divides you?
What still divides us? Oh man. Like, are we talking like divide us like physically? Because technically, like the gods are dividing us because they don't want us to be together. No, okay, fine. What still divides us? My overwhelming hate and jealousy of her is keeping us apart.
The fragment of her pain that you get. She hates all this. She hates Hades, the domain. She hates Hades, the individual. She hates the children that Hades forced her to have.
Oh.
And that is not just a fragment of her pain. That is the common ground that you share.
Wait, so you... But you have a home. Oh.
What?
But it's not a happy home, is it?
I have a home 6 months out of the year.
And it's not the 6 months, is it? I may have been wrong about you.
A great many people are wrong about me, but I do what I must. My mother told me that this was my lot in life.
Well, what if? But okay, I was wrong about you. What if I can free you from this? What if you can help me? What if I can free you from this? What if you never had to come back here ever again? I can help break all the contracts that
My father is Zeus, king of the gods. He didn't intervene to help me. How can you? I know what happened with Zagreus. I also know what happened with Hermes. He told me when he arrived. My husband was quite cross about that, actually, which is why I came to the gates to meet you, because Hermes said I should keep an eye out. Plytho says hi also. She's delightful. She is just delightful.
Wow, people really talk around here, huh?
Well, it's the only thing that we have is time.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, I guess word spread. Hold on, let me see what I can do here. Okay. I need to fulfill a promise that I made to Hermes. I need to build my own home. I want to make the underworld my home. And once I do that, I will break any contract you have with Hades himself, and you never have to come back here again. If you can just please help me.
What an odd request. I don't know that I've ever had a mortal that so desperately wished to embrace life here, although I assume you don't wish to simply languish in a prison or suffer in a river. You want to have some sort of pull down here, right?
Yes, I want to be the god of death, the god of the underworld. You've seen what I can do. I can kill gods. I can do this. But I would need your help. And in return, I promise you, you'll be free.
Do you remember your mother at all?
No. I have no idea who she is. No one ever really told me.
But you've known motherly types, etc.?
Hardly. I've heard of them. Never had one, but I see them out in the town with their kids. I mean, good mothers, bad mothers that'll sacrifice their kids, all sorts of mothers, yes.
Bad mothers sacrificing their kids. You see she motions and you just see like a portal open up and you see back at the village when you were there and you see yourself berating that woman that is holding that baby. But this time you see from the other side, and inside the room, there's 5 other kids. And you see the father covering them up and like trying to shush them. No, you must be quiet, kids. Don't let him hear you. Just heads down. Don't look. Don't look. It's fine. It's fine. And she says, sometimes a mother does things for the greater good. Do you think that woman was capable of striking down my son? What else was she to do? Could she have counted on some once in a lifetime, in a generation hero to rise up and defend her? Or did she have to do the unthinkable to protect what was hers?
No, I mean, I guess you have a point there, but there has to be some other way. They're worshiping the worst gods. And the more they worship them, the more powerful they get, the more they demand.
She sort of smooths your hair out slightly, kind of lays it on your shoulders, and she says, Ate, there are no good gods. Or they wouldn't be gods. But I will do what mothers have done since the beginning of time. And I will sacrifice to defend what's mine. Did you ring the bell?
No, I found it, but I haven't rung it yet. I don't know exactly what it does.
And you see she reaches in her pouch and she pulls out a scroll and she says, Plytho asked me to give this to you.
What?
Read it.
Ate unrolls the scroll.
It just says wake up in all capital letters.
Wake up? What do you mean? Okay. She grabs the bell and just gives it a quick ring.
As you hold it up, Persephone takes a step backwards and says, please do tell my daughter I said hello. And when you ring it, reality shatters. Just some cracks form through everything. And you are back in Sudea, standing there. Everyone around you is on the ground, holding their heads, screaming, blood coming out of their noses. Malinoe is holding you up in the air, wrapped in darkness, in tension, in tentacles, screaming there because Malinoe is the goddess of nightmares. I will watch you suffer and wander aimlessly. Yes, go confront our father. What do you think he's going to say? What do you think's going to happen? That you have the power to strike down gods. What is wrong with you? Look at her ignorant fantasy. Oh, none of you can see because you're all dying on your knees as you should and as you must. Fuck all of you, and her in particular. And your eyes snap open and you see this. Everyone is dying. Malinoe is torturing and killing all of them. What would you like to do?
This is after I killed Zagreus?
This is right. His body is still on the ground.
Oh, shit. Wait! No, shit, I don't have any more divine...
Well, there's a bunch of people that are in danger right now. But you are right. Your divinity is not currently active.
How are they in danger?
You see the tendrils of darkness are coming out of her and wrapping on all of their minds. Basically, she is torturing them to death with nightmares and madness.
Oh God. Okay. I gotta do this.
You also see right there next to you, Chris laying on the ground, still bleeding profusely, just shaking.
jeez. Okay, I gotta stop her. Hurl myself into obvious danger. Did you say tentacles? And she's holding on to me. Oh God. Okay. No, God, I have to piss her off. Oh God. Okay. I reach out, huh?
Chat last time because we're short on time. Last time because we're short on time. Should I help her? 1, if I should help her. 2, if I shouldn't. 1, if I should help her. 2, if I shouldn't.
Because I'm about to.
Last time. You can
It's
tell
all
me.
ones.
Well,
It's all ones.
Okay, all right.
It's all ones.
Well, you know what? Tell me what you had in mind, and you may or may not even need any help.
I was going to go. I was going to grab one of the tentacles that was about to grab a citizen, one of the village people, and I dig my gauntlet into it, and I just bite the tentacle.
I will give you that, and I will also remind you something.
Wait.
Mhm.
Wait. Hold on. What the hell? Hold on. Hold on. How the hell do I? Okay. Wait, Persephone said what now? Oh! Wait. No. Persephone, hold on. What were you going to say?
As you rang the bell, Persephone said, "Do tell my daughter I said hello."
But Zeus.
Melinoe is Persephone's child. So is Zagreus. These two.
Right.
These two and the Furies are her children.
That's right. Okay. As Ate's chest is getting crushed in her grip, blood spurting out of my mouth, she looks at her and says, "Your mother says hello."
You see, she turns and looks at you, and she seems shocked by the fact that you're awake. And it distracts her enough that you see she starts to let go of some of the people and turns her attention completely to you. "You don't speak my mother's name. You're not worthy. You are nothing." And as she grabs you and begins squeezing, suffer one more strain, which I believe puts you at 3.
Oh no. Okay.
In fact, 1 second here.
Take a serious risk to pursue a new lead about your morning.
This is going to take a little more than this.
Okay.
Because she has been torturing you, and it is very much her intent that you die. And you are not certain how long she has been crushing and breaking your body as you regain your consciousness, such as it is. And you realize that you are actually already nearly at the point of death. This would be the final strain. This would be the 5th that would kill you, that would deliver you to your father Hades. Now, in this game, you have an option. You're a hero. Death only comes if you allow it. Otherwise, you can fight back. And fighting back against that still may come at a great price. I need you to roll. We're going to roll 2d6. But you have to reveal one thing to her. Not just to me, to her. In the process of fighting to survive. A weakness or flaw of yours that she can exploit. Something that you desperately desire, or your true hidden intentions.
Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. If I want to persevere. Okay, here we go. Roll.
Well, wait a second. Oh.
What?
Scrap that roll.
Huh?
But you got to reveal something first. A weakness or a flaw that she can exploit.
I see.
Something that you desperately desire, or your true hidden intentions.
Okay. A weakness or a flaw that I can exploit, or something I desperately desire. A weakness or a flaw. Okay. I desperately desire. Oh no! Okay. Ate looks at her.
Because you're gonna tell her.
Right. And Ate looks at her and says, "Yes, your mother Persephone. I spoke to her. She's a kind woman. Seems like she loves you dearly. Seems like she's always given you a home and has taken good care of you. Your mother, Persephone. Something that I wish that I had. Something that I've always desired was simply a mother."
Roll your 2d6. You need to get a 7 or above.
Oh, here we go. Okay, here you roll.
That is an 8. You clear 1 strain.
Okay.
You are still very clearly, nearly at the brink of death. But as this happens, you do feel your divinity spring to life once more. And when it springs to life, somehow, Hermes' sandals are on your feet and Apollo's bow is in your hand. And their collective powers are available to you.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Oh gosh. Oh, they came with me through my dream. I would like to wield their powers.
Perfect.
First, it will be Hermes to escape. So I would like to wield Hermes' power.
If you got an option, if you use your divinity, you can do one thing and it will work, but you can only do that one thing.
Yeah.
Or you can try and roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll to escape. And let's see, you've done this specific act before perfectly, kind of. Sort of. You're desperate for this to work. No, this is
that will cost you 1 strain, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I've done this before kind of perfectly. Okay, I'm rolling, I'm adding 1 to it.
Okay.
All right, here we go. 8. Oh my god, thank you. 8.
You slip out of her binds and appear a short distance away between her and Chris as the people are starting to get back to their feet. And you look down and you see Apollo's silver bow and arrow begin to crackle in your hand. And Malinoe turns and looks at you. And as she does, you realize this stuff of nightmares is what she actually is. The human face is an illusion. And she looks down and she says, "My brother was a weakling and my uncles are cowards. I will drag your soul to Hades and throw you on the ground in front of my father myself. And then I will come back and I will flay every one of these foolish mortals and torture them with agonies of their own psyche until they choke and starve and die." And you see she begins to swell up into her true form of catastrophic, twisting, nightmarish madness. What would you like to do?
I would like to pull out Apollo's bow and take aim. And I would like to use my divinity.
What would you like to happen with Apollo's bow? Because as you begin to draw it, it bucks and fights against you as you had difficulty with it before, but you are able to master it, at least temporarily. You tell me what happens.
Okay. Ate pulls back Apollo's bow, and as it's quivering, she whispers at the bow, because I know it's connected to Apollo. He hears what's going on down here. And she whispers to the bow, she whispers to the bow and goes, "Show him how big and strong you are." And draws back on the bow.
You see, the clouds part as the sun comes down on her like a bullseye right on her chest.
So I would like to use my divine or my divinity
To inflict violence, I'm
to
hearing.
inflict violence.
Let's combine this with your roll to kill a god, because I assume you do not intend to show Malinois any mercy.
Absolutely not.
Go ahead and roll 2d6. There's no way to overkill this, but it can go well or it can go less well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
4.
Hold on a second here. This is important to read. Oh, great. You draw back the bow in a crackling plume of sunshine and lightning combined, whips out like a corkscrew and slams into her and begins.
Wait. But before it slams into her, I say, tell your brother I said hello.
It blasts out of her back, and the muck and mire that she was comprised of begins to fall all over the place as she begins to disintegrate, clutching at her chest. But because you missed the roll to kill her, with her dying breath, she curses you. You will never enter the underworld. You will never have a home. And slides to the ground. And as you feel the crushing, permanent weight of a divine curse crushing in on your soul, that is a good place for us to stop.
Wait! Ate looks up at her as she's dying and says, never had one.
And turns and walks away slowly. She explodes.
Explosion.
There you have it. Thank you all for tuning in to join us for Godkiller there. Connie, you're muted, but you have a happy face.
I'm fully losing my shit right now. Wow. That was incredible. Full of twists and turns. I'll let the two of you say some stuff out as I'm gathering myself and my wits here. Feel free to introduce yourselves. Feel free to just like banter and talk. And what? My mind is blown. And I'm trying to speak for everyone in chat too about our minds being collectively blown.
Glad I could help, folks. Yeah, B. Dave Walters and B. Dave Walters everywhere. You can find me wherever fine streaming content is located, doing stuff like that to wonderful people. I'm like, I take the people I love the most and do the worst things.
Every time. I am Gina Darling. You can find me everywhere at Miss Gina Darling, MISSGINA Darling. And listen, we got to give an absolute special round of applause to B. Dave, the game master, the most incredible game master I've ever played with in my life, and he is the reason why these games are so remarkable. And a huge standing ovation for Connie for letting us do this and bringing this beautiful world into our lives. This was just so much fun. I'm so over the moon about this.
Heck yeah. I mean, you two were freaking incredible. Like, that was just, I was like gripping onto every word. I screamed, I laughed, I cried. It was like a movie. It was beautiful. The two of you, wow. What an amazing showcase of the game and your own storytelling prowesses.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, thank you for having us and letting us get the first bite of the golden apple just right after yours, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, did everyone else in chat totally imagine how hot the gods were?
Oh my god. We were salivating, V-Dave. Everyone was like, oh my god, mommy, daddy, what? We are not okay. Perfect. We are not well.
Perfect. Hey, all of that stuff I did is real stuff from mythology, all of it, except nobody kills Pletho, but she is Hermes' wife. I just needed him to be sad about something. But besides that, it's all,
Rage that goddess. bridge
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Oh my
All
god.
mythology. Yep.
Well, that was incredible. I'm just gonna do the typical post-show quick announcements before we leave here. So yes, I've been Connie. I've been producing this. Yes, and I'm also GMing this, but in podcast form, which I'll get to in just a second. But some quick announcements before we say goodbye and raid Quincy's Tavern for the evening. Yes, we're gonna be raiding Quincy. So every Saturday from now until the end of May, that's Saturday, May 20th, Transplanar RPG will be hosting Godkiller one-shots just like this incredible one you saw from Gina and B. Dave, featuring 7 pairs of gods and god-killing quests total. This was our second. We have 5 more left. And every single participant, as evinced by this one, is a true titan of TTRPGs. So make sure you come back next week, same time, same place, to see Persephoros, speaking of Persephone, am I right? And Jess Parsons take on their very own version of the Cradle and fight for a newborn god-killer's freedom against their tyrannical god husband. It's like Beauty and the Beast meets Bluebeard's Bride, set in a god-killing universe. And again, a big thank you to our sponsors for this stream and this event of Roll App, Start Playing Games, and Magpie Games. Use ! Sponsors in chat to get a list of their links. And finally, last week, I had the honor of GMing the first 2 episodes of a special official Godkiller podcast series, which now we're going to take and record the rest of it offline to debut wherever you pod your casts on Transplanar RPG's podcast feed. Godkiller First Blood is the name of this official podcast companion if you want to see my spin and my take on the Cradle. Stay tuned. I think it will debut on May 2nd. May 2nd is when that is going to come out, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think I'm right. I think it's May 2nd, yes. But as you can tell, I'm like so scatterbrained because this is just so amazing and so incredible to witness. With that, I'm going to introduce us. We are going to raid Quincy. So stick around for that. Use the raid command in chat. Tell them that Transplanar sent you. Tell them about B, Dave, and Gina's incredible storytelling prowess. And make sure to follow them wherever we are online. And we will see you next week. Same time, same place.
Remember, Apollo loves you.
Apollo loves you. Bye-bye, God Killers.